All right, so now we got our Week 4 NFL Power Rankings for this week. Um, it's definitely a lot of movement this week. So let's just get started here. At number 32, we have the Chicago Bears. They were 32 last week. They absolutely sucked this week against the Chiefs. They got beat 41-10. They were down 41-0 through three quarters, and then the Chiefs put in a bunch of subs and stuff. So then they finally end up scoring 10 points in that fourth quarter. But yeah, they did not play good for this during this game. Justin Fields himself did not do very good at all. Um, he had less than 100 passing yards with only one touchdown and one interception. That touchdown, like I said, came against most of the subs in the fourth quarter. He had a 59 passer rating, so definitely not a good look for Justin Fields and the Bears in this game. Number 31, we got the Denver Broncos. All right, so Broncos fans are probably a little bit upset right now, but on the bright side, you're not the worst team in football, at least in my opinion. I think you're still better than the Bears. We're gonna see actually because you do end up playing the Bears this week, so we're gonna see who really is the worst team in football. But yeah, they're moving down 8 spots after getting obliterated 70-20 versus the Dolphins. Allowing 70 points is not great. Putting up 20 points, putting up 20 points is all right, but one of those one of those touchdowns there was a kick return touchdown by Marvin Mims. So their offense really only had 13 points, so not exactly great there. Cortland Sutton had 90 yards and a touchdown, but he also had 2 lost fumbles, so you know kind of good, but then with 2 fumbles made it not so good. Russ was actually decent. He had like 300 yards this game. But when you lose 70-20, not a lot of bright spots on there. So yeah. Tennessee Titans, number 30. They were number 25. So they're moving down 5 spots after taking a tough L versus the Browns this week. They lost what was it? They lost 27-3. Derrick Henry had like 20 rushing yards on I forget how many attempts it was, but he had like 15 or so attempts and only 20 total yards for Derrick Henry. Definitely not great. And also, their backup running backs, Hassan Haskins and Julius Chestnut, 2 of their backup running backs on the IR. Their safety, Mike Brown, on the IR. So, yeah, Ryan Tannehill, he also sucks. He had 104 passing yards this week with a 62 passer rating. Not a good look for Ryan Tannehill. Ryan Tannehill so far has had 2 really bad games, and they had 1 solid game. So, yeah, like I said originally, I don't think Ryan Tannehill was going to be the starter for this team for through the mid part of the season. Will Levis and Malik Willis will get a chance to start because Ryan Tannehill is just not good. The Giants are at 29. They were 27. Moved down 2 spots. They lost 30-12 against the 49ers. They did have Andrew Thomas, I believe, and Saquon Barkley were out that game. So, it's not, they didn't play horrible. They lost by 18 points without the starting running back and starting offensive tackle. So definitely, something could have been worse for the Giants, but still only putting up 12 points is not good with 150 total yards. Daniel Jones only had 142 yards, 0 touchdowns, and an interception. So you would like Daniel Jones to do a little bit better. But yeah, so they moved down 2 spots here. Number 28, we got the Raiders coming in. They stay at 28. They did lose last week to the Steelers. They only lost by 5. I think they should have. They had like 4th and goal, or not 4th and goal, like 4th and 4 inside the 10-yard line with 2 minutes left in the game. And they decided to kick a field goal when they're down by 8 points. Because I don't really know why they did that. Josh McDaniels, I would have gone for the touchdown because, duh. But, they didn't play horrible this game, right? They lost by 5 points, but their offense only put up 18 points and had 3 turnovers. Jimmy Garoppolo, He had 330 yards and 2 touchdowns, but he also threw 3 picks. So, like, he was decent. He was pretty good aside from the 3 interceptions, but the 3 interceptions brought his passer rating down to a 72 rating. And you think if he didn't throw 3 picks, they would have won this game. So definitely not great for Garoppolo there. Davante Adams, he did great. Davante Adams had 172 yards and 2 touchdowns this game, but you know their defense was good, only 23 points. But yeah, Garoppolo can't be throwing 3 picks in a game. Panthers at 27, they were number 29, so they move up 2 spots even after losing. That's mostly because just the Broncos sucked so bad I had to drop them a lot of spots, and who else was it? The Giants, I think, that fell under them. So yeah, just a couple teams that sucked that I had to drop under them. But yeah, Panthers, they did not play horrible this week. They only lost to the Seahawks by 10 points. While starting Andy Dalton, they put up 27 points with Andy Dalton, which was more than they put up with Bryce Young. So, maybe that shows the Panthers that Bryce Young just isn't quite ready yet, and maybe he needs to sit behind Dalton for a few games. I don't know, but Andy Dalton had 360 yards and 2 touchdowns this game, so I'm pretty sure that is more passing yards than Bryce Young had in the first 2 games combined. I did not fact check that, but I'm pretty sure that is a legit stat. Adam Thielen actually looked good in this game with 145 yards and a touchdown. DJ Chark had 86 yards and a touchdown. So their offense was really solid. Their defense let up 37 points. They had 1 takeaway on defense, but they let up too many points. But their offense was really looking good this game. Andy Dalton looks a lot better than Bryce Young as of right now, but we'll see what happens next week. Commanders at 26, they were number 18, so they fell a lot. They got absolutely obliterated by the Buffalo Bills. What was it? 37-3, I believe. So, yeah, definitely not good there. They had 3 points of offense, like I said. They had 5 total turnovers. Sam Howell had 4 interceptions himself, so he absolutely sucked this game. The other turnover was Antonio Gibson fumbled one, but, most of the blame in this game, obviously, their defense didn't do good, letting up 37 points. Obviously, their offense had a lot of problems, only having 3 points. But when Sam Howell throws 4 picks, you can basically put all your blame on Sam Howell. Yeah, definitely not a good move for the Commanders this week. Texans at 25, they were number 30, so move up 5 spots. Texans really surprised me this week. They had a great dub against the Jaguars. They beat them 37-17. I did not expect them to win that game at all, but they went into Jacksonville. I think they went into Jacksonville, right? I think it was an away game. They went into Jacksonville and absolutely dominated. Yeah, they put up 37 points. That's a lot of points for the Texans. C.J. Stroud had 280 yards and 2 touchdowns with 118 passer rating. He has by far looked like the best rookie quarterback so far this season. Tank Dell, receiver, had 145 yards and a touchdown. So, their offense was just amazing this week. Their defense only let up 17 points and had 2 takeaways. So that's really good. Also, Derek Stingley, corner, he's on the IR now, so that will hurt their defense a little bit, but, I'm not expecting much out of the Texans, but this was definitely a good week for them. Number 24, the Arizona Cardinals. They were number 31. Now they're number 24. So basically, if you saw my video last week and remembered what I said I would do if the Cardinals beat the Cowboys, well, I'm just going to leave it at that. If you know, you know. The Cardinals played really good this week. They put up 28 points. They only allowed 16 points, and they had a takeaway. So that's really good for them. Joshua Dobbs, he was 17 for 21 for 244 yards and a touchdown. He had 120 passer rating this week. That's insane, because I think Joshua Dobbs, I look at him and see 0 talent, but he played amazing this week. James Conner had 100 yards and a touchdown this week. He's the only guy that I actually thought was going to be good for this team this year, but they're actually surprising me a lot. They do have a tackle, Carlos Watkins, on the IR now, but, they did good this week, so we'll see if the Cardinals can continue to surprise for the rest of the season. Number 23, I got the Jets. They were number 20. Now they're number 23, dropping 3 spots after losing to Hold up, I gotta find them on my notes here. They lost to the Patriots, right? Yeah, 15-10 to the Patriots. Um, you know, obviously their defense is not the problem. They only let up 15 points, so I mean that's really good, right? They actually only let up 13 points because they also had their offense got safetied in this game, so their defense only let up 13 points. But yeah, their offense sucks. They only put up 10 points. Zach Wilson, 18 for 36 for 157 yards with a 62 pass rating. Zach Wilson sucks. They need to sign anybody. Anybody's going to be better than Zach freaking Wilson. Like, I don't understand why they keep thinking that he's going to somehow just play good. I don't know. They're taking some hits to their O-line. Laurent Duvernay-Tardif, he retired. And Dwayne Brown's on the IR now, so Lions take a little bit of a hit, but it doesn't really matter because their offense sucks anyways with Zach Wilson, so it doesn't matter if they have a line or not. Number 22, Patriots were number 24, so they move up 2 spots after beating the Jets. Their offense only put up 13 points. Like, they got to do better than that. But their defense was amazing, only letting up 10 points, had a safety. Mac Jones this week was okay. 200 yards and a touchdown, decent. Their kicker was only 2 for 4, so they could have won this game by more than 5 points if their kicker could know how to make a couple field goals. But, pretty solid win for New England to get the first win of the season. Cornerback Marcus Jones is on the IR now, so hurts our defense a little bit, but they really need to work on their offense too as well. Buccaneers 21, we're number 19, so they were doing really good this year. Now this week they had a poor outing against Philadelphia, but I only have them dropping 2 spots. So not too much of a drop for them after taking their first L of the season, and it was a pretty tough L. They lost by 14 points, 11-25. So far their offense has been pretty good. This week, yeah, like I said, they only put up 11 points. Not great. They had 2 turnovers, 11 points. Got safetied, so not great there. Baker Mayfield only had 148 yards with a touchdown and an interception, so definitely not great there. 73 passer rating for Baker Mayfield, which is okay, but definitely want it to be better than that. Yeah, I mean the defense was good. They only let up 23 points of defense and had 2 takeaways, but their offense has got to be better. So, solid start for the Buccaneers season, though, honestly. Saints at 20 were 22. Not a bad game for the Saints. For the most part, okay. They were winning 17-0 going into the 4th quarter. That's when things kind of went south for them. They blew a 17-point 4th quarter lead. They let the Packers score 18 points unanswered in the 4th quarter to steal the game for them. Derek Carr did get injured in this game, and Jameis Winston had to take over. So you can kind of blame the loss on that, but also, don't let them score 18 points in a quarter, right? Defense got to do better than that too. But throughout the whole game, only allowing 18 points is pretty solid defense with the takeaway. They also had a punt return touchdown this game, so their offense only put up 10 points. Offense needs to do better. Both quarterbacks played solid when they were in the game. Olave had 100+ yards, but you just can't blow a 17-point 4th quarter lead. Also, running back Jamal Williams, he did not suit up this game at all, but now he's officially listed on the IR, so that's a little bit of a hit for him. But also, Alvin Kamara is now going to be playing after his 3-game suspension is over, so he's going to play week 4. So the running back position should be fine. Losing Jamal Williams and gaining Alvin Kamara. Real thing here is the quarterback issue. Derek Carr is questionable. He's listed week to week, so he may or may not play next week. But either way, Jameis Winston did not play bad this game, so they shouldn't make too much of a difference if Carr plays or not. Got the Falcons at 19. They were 15. So they moved down 4 spots after taking their first loss of the season. They lost 20-6 to the Lions. Their offense only put up 6 points. That's obviously not really good. And having a turnover, not good offense. Desmond Ridder was not good this game. Their defense was pretty solid, only allowing 20 points, had a takeaway. Jesse Bates had an interception that game, so I mean that's pretty good defense, only allowing 20 points. But yeah, their offense got to put up more than 6 points. Also, linebacker, sorry, linebacker Troy Anderson is injured for the season now, so takes a little bit of a hit to their defense. But main thing for the Falcons is their offense so far this season. They need to work on specifically their passing game. Need to, you know, get some yards there. Desmond Ridder hasn't been bad. He just hasn't not passed for a lot of yards yet, so needs to work on that. Vikings at 18, they were number 21, so they actually moved up 3 spots after losing a game. They're 0-3 and they're at number 18. So some people definitely think that the Vikings should be much lower than they are, which is definitely reasonable. But they've lost all 3 of their games so far by 1 possession, which is the opposite of what happened last year. Because last year they went undefeated in 1 possession games. This year they're 0-3 in 1 possession games. But they've played. Oh, sorry, they've played close in all of their games. So I'm not really gonna I don't really think they're a bad team. So I'm not gonna rank them so low just because they're 0-3. Like they put out 24 points in this game with having 2 turnovers. So definitely not great offense, but it's decent offense. Their defense allowed 28 points, had a takeaway, so it's also decent defense. So they played solid. Kirk Cousins played good as usual. He had 375 yards and 3 touchdowns with 1 interception. So pretty solid game from Kirk Cousins, I would say. Jay Jettis had 150 yards and a touchdown. Madison had 100 yards. I don't know. Their offense usually performs really well. Their defense has got to, not let teams score 28 plus points every week, and maybe Vikings will win a game or something. It'd be nice, but yeah, the Vikings 0-3. Definitely think they have the potential to, go on a little win streak here. Obviously they're keeping their games close, so they just gotta finish the games out and win. Jacksonville 17, worth 13. So they dropped 4 spots this week after after losing to who's they? Hold up. Lost to the Texans. Yeah, that's who it is. I forgot. They lost to the Texans this week by 20 points. I don't know how the Jags lost by 20 points to the freaking Texans, but they did. They only put up 17 points with 2 turnovers. That's not great offense at all. They allowed 37 points, so bad defense as well. Trevor Lawrence was okay. He had 1 touchdown and 1 pick. Not great, but okay. Etienne was he was good. He had 125 yards, but bad offense overall. Their kicker only was 1 for 3 on field goals. Your job is to kick a field goal. Make your field goals, right? They also have Devin Lloyd and Davin Hamilton are going to be injured for the next 2 games in London, so they're going to be hurting a little bit more on defense for the next 2 games. But their offense has not looked good this season at all, which that's something they really need to be working on. They did not even put up 20 plus points against the Texans, so you can't expect to win many games if you're not going to put up at least 20 points. Colts at 16, they were number 26, so I think this is the biggest jump of the week for any team. Moving up 10 spots after beating the Ravens in overtime with Gardner Minshew at quarterback. So backup quarterback beats the Baltimore Ravens, which is not something I thought would be happening this week. Put up 22 points. They did get safetied. Gardner Minshew pulled a Dan Orlovsky, but other than that, Gardner Minshew was pretty solid this game. Zach Moss was really good. He had 145 yards and a touchdown. Zaire Franklin on defense had 11 tackles this game. That's really good. Their kicker, Matt Gay, he was 5 for 5 on field goals. So, kicker basically had as many points as the entire Baltimore Ravens team. So that's something. They won in overtime against the Ravens by 3 points on a field goal. So, pretty solid win for the Colts here. Packers at 15, they were 16. They're only moving up 1 spot. They had the 17-point fourth quarter comeback, scored 18 points unanswered. But they beat the Saints with a backup quarterback for half the game by 1 point, which I mean, it's okay. The Packers were also missing quite a bit of players this game, so that basically evens it out there. But yeah, pretty solid performance for Jordan Love, I would say. At least primarily in the second half. First half it definitely could have been better, but second half he was pretty solid. Um, he had 2 touchdowns. Um, yeah. So the Packers had a good fourth quarter. First half was bad, obviously down 0-17. Fourth quarter they came out. Jordan Love was lining up the fourth quarter, so really good for them. For this next week, they're going to be missing Bakhtiari and Devondre Campbell still, so that's going to kind of hurt them a little bit. But they also were missing them, I believe, last week, and they ended up winning a game. So it should be all right. They play the Lions. You'll see my prediction on that game, but yeah, Packers at 15. Rams at 14. They were number 10, moving down 4 spots. The Rams are, after taking another L here to the Bengals. They lost by 3 points in what I called the field goal bowl because Rams kicked 3 field goals. They had 1 touchdown, so they had more points on field goals than touchdowns. So did the Bengals. Jamar Chase. Wait, hold up. Wrong team. Wrong team. Wrong team. They had 16 points of offense with 2 turnovers. So bad offense, I would say. They allowed only 19 points, had a takeaway. So that's great offense, great defense, right? Matthew Stafford was not great this game. He had 2 interceptions with a 66 passer rating. So Matthew Stafford had a bad game. I'll say it's a decent L, but you know, they're 1-2 now. So after starting hot, they're 1-2. So they got to move down to 14. Steelers at 13. They were 17. So moving up 4 spots after a close L or close dub versus the Raiders on Monday night. So Steelers offense looked better this game. They put up 23 points of offense, which is the most offense they've actually put up in a game. Their defense was great, like usual, only allowing 18 points, having 3 takeaways. Kenny Pickett was really good this game with 235 yards and 2 touchdowns. Cornerback Levi Wallace had 2 takeaways himself, 2 interceptions himself. So he was pretty solid for the defense. So yeah, good dub for the Steelers here. Browns at number 12. They were number 14, so they're moving up 2 spots. After having a dominating win over the Tennessee Titans, but it's kind of easy to dominate Ryan Tannehill. But they did hold Derrick Henry to only 20 yards, which that's something worth note. They put up 27 points with 1 turnover, so pretty solid offense there. They only allowed 3 points. Only allowed 26 total rushing yards. That's really good. Deshaun Watson was actually really good this game. 300 total yards, 2 touchdowns with 123 passer rating. So he did really good. Ford, running back Ford, had 2 touchdowns. Kareem Hunt did not really do much of anything this game. It was all Jerome Ford taking the load. But yeah, he had 2 touchdowns, so you can't really complain about anything there. Amari Cooper had 100 yards and a touchdown this week as well. So their offense did really good. Deshaun Watson, Jerome Ford, and Amari Cooper all did really good this week. Chargers at number 11. They stay at number 11 after winning their first game of the season. They put up 28 points with only 1 turnover. They only allowed 24 points with 2 takeaways. So I would say that's pretty solid. They did have 12 penalties this game. That's kind of a lot, but they still ended up winning, so did not seem to affect them too much. Justin Herbert was amazing like usual. 40 for 47 with 400 yards and 3 touchdowns. That was amazing performance for him. Keenan Allen had 18 catches for 215 yards, and he threw a 49-yard touchdown pass to Mike Williams, who also had a great game with 121 receiving yards and a touchdown. Unfortunately, Mike Williams is now injured for the season after tearing his ACL, so that's going to hurt the Chargers a little bit, right? Losing their second best wide receiver. This game, they also had 0 run game with only 30 rushing yards. Austin Eckler did not play again, so you can kind of blame that on that, but you'd still think they're going to get more than 30 rushing yards. But they also didn't need to run the ball because they had 400-plus passing yards. So, solid W for the Chargers. Baltimore Ravens at number 10. They were number 6, so they're moving down 4 spots after losing to the Colts in overtime. Justin Tucker actually missed a field goal in overtime to win the game, which usually does not happen. You usually don't see Justin Tucker missing field goals, so that kind of surprised me a little bit. Yeah, so they only put up 17 points this game with 2 turnovers. They got a safety in that game, mostly just because Gardner Minshew, Dan Orlovsky did, but still counts as points for the defense, right? So they only let up 22 points. So solid defense. Not good offense, only 17 points. Lamar Jackson was not a great passer. He had 200 passing yards, but no touchdowns. He did have 100 rushing yards and a touchdown there, so he made most of his impact in the run game this week. Lamar Jackson and Kenyon Drake both fumbled the ball, so definitely not great there. And yeah, Justin Tucker missed that game-winning field goal in overtime. So, bad L versus the Colts here, versus the backup quarterback. You can't even beat them. It's not a good look. Lions at 9. We're number 12. We went up 3 spots after taking a dominating win over the Falcons, winning 20-6. They only let up 6 points, so obviously that's really good defense with 1 takeaway. So yeah, their offense wasn't great, only scoring 20 points with a turnover, so definitely could have done better on offense, but you couldn't ask for a much better defensive performance. Amon-Ra St. Brown had 100-plus yards this game. He did really good. Their safety, Brian Branch, had 11 tackles for defense. So yeah, they play Thursday. They're missing a couple guys, a couple different linemen this week, but they should still do solid. Yeah, and so Lions at number 9. Cowboys at number 8. We're number 1. So the Cowboys, oh my gosh. I legitimately do not understand how this team lost to the Cardinals. It does not make any sense to my brain because the Cardinals in my brain have zero talent because I can name like 6 players on their team, counting 3 quarterbacks. Like their team's just not good. Okay, but they beat the Cowboys and they played really good this game. Like the Cowboys played really bad this game. They only put up 16 points with 1 turnover. They let Joshua Dobbs score 28 points on him. Dak Prescott had 1 turnover and 1 interception with a 78 passer rating. So he was okay. That's decent, but not good. Tony Pollard was good with 100-plus yards. Michael Gallup had 90-plus yards, but like you lost by 12 points to the Arizona Cardinals. I don't understand how you did it. Also, Trayvon Diggs is injured for the season, so that helps you guys out a little bit, getting an excuse to lose to the Cardinals because you lost Trayvon Diggs, but you still only put up 16 points. You can't blame that on Trayvon Diggs. So yeah, Cowboys. I don't know how you lost to the Cardinals, and I'm kind of mad at you for making me lose my 3-leg lock of the week, but whatever. Number 7, Bengals. We're number 9, so moving up 2 spots after getting their first win of the season. It was kind of an ugly win. They only won by 3 points against the Rams, and they kicked 4 field goals this game and only having 1 touchdown. So their offense put up 19 points and had 1 turnover. Like their offense has not looked good in any game this year at all. Their defense looked great this game, only allowing 16 points with having 2 takeaways. So, good defensive performance, but their offense has got to do better. Joe Burrow had 259 yards with an interception, had a 60 passer rating. Joe Burrow did not play good this week at all. Ja'Marr Chase did really good with 141 yards, but Joe Burrow has got to do better. But their offense, overall needs to do better. And they did win this game, so that's a positive note, but you got to figure out the offense. Seattle Seahawks, number 6. We're number 8, so moving up 2 spots. Some would say this is a little bit high for the Seahawks. I feel like it's high for the Seahawks, but they've just been playing better than the teams below them. So, I can't really rank them below them, even though this feels high for them. They put up 37 points this week, so that's a really good offensive performance. They did have 1 turnover, but when you put up 37 points, you can have 1 turnover, okay? It doesn't hurt you that much. They allowed 27 points, which is it's not great, but it's okay defense. Geno Smith had 300 yards and a touchdown and a pick, so he was all right. Kenneth Walker was really good this game with 150-plus yards and 2 touchdowns. DK had 100 yards this game. So they did really good. Their kicker, Jason Myers, had 5 for 5 on field goals this game, so he did really good. Overall, their offense was really good this game, and their defense was all right. So it's a good 10-point win over the Panthers for them this week. Eagles are 5. They were number 3, moving down 2 spots even after winning. Even after winning significantly by 14 points versus the Buccaneers. It's just a testament as to the teams above them that did better. For being the reason the Eagles are moving down 2 spots, but yeah, they put up 25 total points, 23 points of offense. They did have a safety on defense. There's a lot of safeties in this week. There's like 4 different games with a safety or something like that. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, 23 points of offense with 2 turnovers, so you definitely could have done better there. But their defense only allowed 11 points with a safety and 2 takeaways, so amazing defense. Jalen Hurts had 300 total yards and 2 touchdowns, but also 2 interceptions. So only a 72 passer rating for Jalen Hurts. That's not good. DeAndre Swift was good, though. He had 125 yards. A.J. Brown had 125 yards, so, like, they did really good. Hurts was pretty good, except for the 2 interceptions, but, still a good win for the Eagles this week. The Bills at number 4 were number 5, moving up 1 spot after demolishing the Commanders 37-3. They put up 30 points of offense. They did have a pick 6 on defense, while only allowing 3 points, and having 5 total takeaways on defense. So their defense was absolutely incredible this game. 5 takeaways is insane, honestly. And yeah, their offense was obviously amazing, putting up 30 points. Josh Allen was decent. He only had an 80 passer rating, so he was okay. But James Cook had 100 yards and Stephon Diggs had 100 yards. So pretty good for them. So good dub for the Bills this week. Number 3, the Chiefs, moving up 1 spot from number 4. Obviously they dominated the Bears 41-10. They were up 41-0 through 3 quarters. Then they took most of their starters out of the game, like Patrick Mahomes and Kelsey and Chris Jones and all those guys. They did not play the 4th quarter at all. So yeah, they let up 10 points in the 4th quarter, and Blaine Gabbert threw 2 picks in the 4th quarter. But overall, their starting offense was amazing, and the starting defense was amazing. Mahomes had 300 yards and 3 touchdowns through only 3 quarters, so you can't ask for a much better game for the Chiefs here. Offensive tackle Prince Tega Winogo is on the IR now, so it takes a little bit of a hit, but he also he's not a starting O-lineman, so it's not going to hurt him too much, but definitely hurts their depth a little bit. Niners at number 2 were number 2. Now they had a dominating win over the Giants. Granted, the Giants were without Saquon and Andrew Thomas and stuff like that, but they still put up 30 points and only allowed 12 points while having a takeaway. So great offense and defense that game. They only let up 150 total yards. Brock Purdy himself had 300 yards and 2 touchdowns. So, they just dominated them in every facet of the game, basically. Christian McCaffrey had 100 yards and a touchdown. Debo had 129 yards and a touchdown. So, yeah, Niners dominated that game. Number 1 is the Dolphins. They moved up 1 from number 7 all the way to number 1 and moving up 6 spots. I know it's a big jump. They jumped a lot of title contenders and all that, but they won the game 70-20. They put up 70 points, so I felt it was only fair to move them up to the number 1 spot because nobody's put up 70 points in 60-some years or something like that. So, I just thought it was fair to put the Dolphins all the way at number 1. Defense only let up 13 points while having 3 takeaways because the Broncos had a kick return touchdown. So, their offense only had 13 points. So, the Dolphins' defense, as well as obviously their offense was amazing, scoring 70 points. Freaking Tua had 300 yards and 4 touchdowns with a near perfect passer rating. Mike White did have a perfect passer rating, throwing a 1. He was 2 for 2 with a bomb to Robbie Chosen, freaking 68-yard touchdown to Robbie Chosen. Devon Achane had 233 yards and 4 touchdowns this game Raheem Mostert had 142 yards and 4 touchdowns this game. Tyreek Hill had 150 yards and a touchdown this game. Like they put up video game numbers for real. They had 726 total yards with 350 rushing yards this game. Like, you do not get much better than that the Miami Dolphins played this week. So because of that, I put them at number one. They play the Bills this week, which is definitely going to be a very interesting matchup. But yeah, we'll get into that actually about right now. So here are my game picks for this week. I got the Lions over the Packers this week. Packers are without Bakhtiari and Devondre Campbell. I know they missed a couple guys last week and still won, but I feel like the Lions are a better team than the Saints. The Packers are going to be definitely missing those guys more this week, I believe. Jaguars over the Falcons. I don't think I got to say much about that. Eagles over the Commanders. That's actually my lock of the week. I screwed myself a little bit last week picking 3 different locks because I don't want to pick the same team as a lock 2 weeks in a row. So that eliminated the Chiefs, Cowboys, and Niners for this week. So I had to choose my next best lock, which was going to be the Eagles right here, like I just said. We got the Ravens over the Browns, which is actually an upset of the week for me. I don't even know why the Ravens are the upset, but on DraftKings, they are the underdog. So they are my upset of the week. I also have the Dolphins over the Bills this week. That should be a very fun game. I got the Saints over the Bucks, the Vikings over the Panthers, the Broncos over the Bears. That's going to be freaking crap show, but it's going to be entertaining for people that like to make fun of football. That's for sure. You got the Bengals over the Titans, Rams over the Colts, Steelers over the Texans, the Chargers over the Raiders, the Niners over the Cardinals. I wanted to make that my lock of the week, but I used them last week. Cowboys over the Patriots, Chiefs over the Jets, and the Seahawks over the Giants. So yeah, those are my picks of the week. My week 3 record went 13-3. I'm definitely thinking this week is going to go worse than that. I'm just not as confident in these picks. My total record so far is 35-13. I think that's a pretty solid record. My lock of the weeks are 4-1, with only the freaking Cowboys losing to the Cardinals being my one loss there. Somehow they lost that game. My upset of the week is still 3-0, so hopefully the Dolphins can keep me undefeated there. That's all I got this week. So thank you for watching my video. Let me know your thoughts and comments down below, and make sure to check in next week for an updated power rankings list.